No matter how busy you are, you must take time to make the other person feel important. Everyone has an invisible sign hanging around their neck. Make me feel important. Never forget this message when working with people. Mary Kay Ash, entrepreneur. This week, I read a story that caused me to pause and reflect. There was a couple who were having problems in their marriage, and both the husband and the wife, well, they dealt with it, they coped in very different ways. The wife threw herself into her housework, often in silence. The husband, well, he coped by being absent, by spending more time out of the home and away from work. Now, eventually, their 13-year-old daughter went to a shopping centre and was caught shoplifting. Now, the police were called. She wasn't rude. She didn't try and get away. The store manager didn't want to press charges, but asked the police if they would give her a stern warning. Now, when the police told her they were about to call her parents and let them know what had happened, she responded with a pre-prepared note. She handed a piece of paper to the police and said, "Here's my dad's phone number. Tell him I want him to come and pick me up." She'd gone to the shopping centre with the intention of being arrested, just so she could get her dad's attention. You know, there are three core needs that every human being, regardless of age and gender and race or status, has. They need to be heard, they need to be seen, and they need to be valued. You know, I've always marveled at the lengths that people will go to in order to be seen. You know, a 2-year-old might be naughty or throw a tantrum. The girl in the story I just told, she was willing to get arrested. But it's not just teens and toddlers who engage in some sort of antisocial or maybe self-sabotaging behaviour just to be seen. Too often it happens in the workplace as well. It's just not as obvious. You know, one person may work to the point of burnout just to impress a particular leader. One may initiate or perpetuate conflict to try and get their executive to step in and solve it. And yet another may constantly be bringing problems to their manager just to get face time with them. The need doesn't seem to disappear once people grow up and get a job, nor does it dissolve when they put on a suit or adopt some sort of professional persona. Now people need to feel seen and they need to feel valued if they're going to feel like they belong and if they're going to be committed to do their best work. You know, according to AHRI's Australian Employee Turnover Statistics, the lack of recognition is a key factor in 37% of staff who are considering leaving their current organisation. And there's other research and reports that state insufficient recognition in the workplace is cited by 52% of those that do leave. And that's alongside poor relationship with managers, which is cited by 57% of people that leave their organisations. Contrast that with Gallup's research, and that says that employees that receive meaningful recognition from their leaders and their managers are 4 times more engaged and 5 times more likely to stay with their current employer. Now, this is not about just making people feel good. Given that it costs about 1.5 to 2 times a person's annual salary just to replace them, seeing and being seen in the workplace affects the business bottom line. The reality is that leaders who make their people feel seen and valued really do make a difference in the workplace. But practically, what are we talking about? You see your people every day. How do you make them feel seen? You know, the 2 most common behaviours that leaders and managers display that actually prevent individuals and teams from feeling seen are being too task-focused and acting on autopilot. If you're only ever engaging with your people and talking to them about the the work that they have to do, the tasks that they have to get done, well, individuals begin to feel like tools or resources, not the human beings that they actually are. And if your thanks and gratitude and encouragement to people is cursory, or it's delivered really quickly, always using the same words and done in passing, it's kind of the thanks for all you've done as you walk out the door, well, it lacks authenticity and meaning. Now, there are many different ways that you can actually show genuine recognition to your employees, but here are 3 behaviours that cost you nothing, but will make a big impact on your people. The first one here is look, pause, and encourage. Take the time to gain someone's attention. Look at them in the eye and pause for about 2 seconds, and then encourage them. Holding their eye contact it creates a connection. Pausing creates space, and that highlights what's about to come next. It gives it more weight. It makes whatever you say more genuine and meaningful. And it'll look something like this. Hey, Jen, I just want to say thanks for the work that you did on that report. It's genuinely appreciated. See that pause before and after the encouragement? It only takes about 5 seconds. And that's all that's needed to stop and make sure that people feel appreciated, to make sure that your thanks actually lands with someone. The next behaviour here is take time with people. Now, time is one of our most valuable resources. And so because it's valuable, when we give it to people, they feel valued. I'm not just talking about the time that you assign tasks or to collaborate on a project. I'm talking about the time that you go out of your way to get to know people, asking them about them, finding out about their life outside of work. It may be over a coffee or a lunch, or maybe Friday afternoon drinks. But it might be also in the car on the way to a meeting, or for 5 minutes at the end of a meeting. The time taken in non-work communication, non-work related, non-task related communication and interaction is rarely time that's wasted. The final behaviour that we've got here is to link conversations. All right. Now, when you ask someone about some sort of previous conversation, something that was in a previous conversation, you ask about it, you make mention of it, you refer to it, you're linking the current conversation with a previous one. And when you do that, you communicate several different things. The first is the fact that you were paying attention in the first conversation. The second is that conversation was worth remembering. And if the conversation was worth remembering, then they were worth remembering. When your people realize that you pay attention to them and that they are worth the space in your memory banks, well, that's when they feel that they are both seen and valued. If you are to create an environment that brings the best out of people, one that they want to stay in and look forward to coming to work each day, where they do their best work, it's going to be an environment where they feel seen and valued. It's actually not hard to do. It's not really that complex, but it does require your intentionality. So I encourage you, pick one person and try the look, pause, and encourage technique. See how it lands. Until next time, lead well.